Okay, you had some on your head? Yeah. Okay, on your head. All right. Shalom. Want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, Rakakudash. Double honors to our teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to you brothers out there laboring in his work. And as always, the believers, the Akim, as well as the Aquaf, those of you who subscribe to this truth, all right? So, welcome to another installment of As Foretold in the Scriptures. This is now the 96th installment of an ongoing series dedicated to biblical prophecy. As touching the revelation of the hidden things, the secrets that was given to the prophets. That's pursuant to what's that, Amos, the 3rd chapter, which is now, on display in its perfection. And if your eyes are open, then you can see, all right, this thing is playing out perfectly, man. Everything is going according to plan, right on schedule. You see, the perils, the sad perils that's spoken of in 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, they here. All right, the stage is set for biblical prophecy to have its place here on the planet Earth. And what's that going to do? That's going to mess up the minds. Matter of fact, go to Isaiah, the 33rd chapter in the 6th verse. See, this is a mental game. All right, the mindset of you people about to be compromised, man. Because you're going to be faced with certain adversity of resistance that you've never seen before. It's not coming to man. When you think about it, we're in the time when Yahweh Shema is about to show himself again. Remember, what's that? Is that Jeremiah the 16th chapter? Where the Lord compared the ancient Egyptian captivity to this current captivity. And he made the statement, look, it will no longer be said the Lord delivered the children from the land of Egypt, but it would be said how the Lord brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north and the lands where he had driven them. Why did the Lord promote that? Because this is a time where he's going to show his power. Matter of fact, somebody can hold that too. Psalms 9 and 16. You got it up.
God, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 33, verse 6. And when wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of that time.
Yep.
Read it again.
Yeah, read it again.
It's like it says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of that time.
See, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of that times. So that proves that your stability, you being able to stand, in whatever situation, is going to be based upon your reasoning. All right? That's why I said wisdom, knowledge, and wisdom shall be the stability of that time. Go ahead.
And strength of salvation.
Right, and strength of salvation, man. So, go ahead.
It's like it said, the fear of the Lord is his treasure.
Right, now when you read Ecclesiasticus, the 1st chapter, think around it, is it the 18th verse? It outlines the fear of the Lord. The crown of wisdom is the fear of the Lord. The beginning of knowledge is also in Proverbs. So the fear of the Lord falls under the banner of the proper knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the scriptures. Why? Because you have been given the report. And with that, it provokes a certain fear. Being in this truth, being introduced to Yahweh Shema Shine, his true nature, man, that creates a certain fear. You see? All right, so come on.
That's
That's Psalm 9 and 16.
This is the book of Psalms 9 and verse 16. The Lord is known by the judgment which he executed.
See, the Lord is known by the judgment which he executed. Go ahead.
The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Higion Salah.
Right. So we just read, the brother just read right there. Read that one more time up.
Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 33, verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of that time.
Right. And that knowledge, we know that goes back to know. All right. Go ahead.
And strength of salvation, the fear of the Lord is his treasure.
And like the brother just read, the Lord is known by the judgment in which he executed. So that's the wedge that's going to be driven between the people. Those of us who know, or what's that, Jeremiah the 9th chapter? Let him that. You got that? All right, come on. That's good.
It's Jeremiah chapter 9 and verse 24.
That's it.
But let him that glorieth in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me.
See, that he understandeth and knoweth me. If you are to glory, that's what you are to glory in. Seeing that the Lord has shared his thoughts with you, if you will. Or what's that? 1 Corinthians, the 2nd chapter, we have the mind of Yahweh. Go ahead.
That I am the Lord, Yahweh, which exercise loving kindness, judgment. See, so you see what knowing and understanding Yahweh translates to you understanding that he executes judgment, which we just read in Psalm the 9th chapter. Why do you think Noah was preserved? He was briefed on the true nature of Yahweh Shemah. Go ahead. And righteousness
In
the earth. For in these things I delight, saith the Lord.
Right. So you see where the Lord not only delight in love and kindness and righteousness, but also judgment. All right. This is what establishes the king and the authority, the power of Yahweh Shemah. It's through him executing judgment. And we've been briefed on that. Again, we understand that. And this is what's going to separate us, Lord willing, the Lord keep us, and we're numbered amongst that elk, right? But this is what's going to set us apart from those who are going to succumb to prophecy, man. The mere fact that we know. We were just speaking about that off the camera, me and a couple of the brothers, about how we have the luxury of knowing, your opposition, right? Those who might be a hindrance to you. They don't have the luxury of knowing that there's a higher power that's governing over the situation. So they get all messed up. You can sleep at night. See?
They think it's
Yeah.
They think it's a coincidence.
Yeah.
Oh, it just happened. Nah. It was somebody that was controlling the whole thing, man.
Yeah. Someone controls your destiny, man. That contributes to that fear. Knowing that you're under the orders of a power that exceeds you. All right, come on. That was it.
Okay, precept.
All right, come on.
Just going back, like you said, to the people's minds being compromised. St. Luke 21, verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity.
Can I say that prophecy has been fulfilled? There has been signs, in the heavens and the stars and the moons, different constellations. The stars line up a certain way, and also so-called UFO sightings. That falls under the banner of signs in the stars and the moons in the heavens. You had these different phases of the moon. You had red moons, blue moons, and see? Go ahead.
It says, and upon the earth.
And also upon the earth. So it's a heavy spirit of unease and restlessness on the planet Earth, man. Throughout the planet Earth, in different countries. And Lord will, we're going to go into we're going to go into current events, right? And it will be filtered through the scriptures, which is custom, right, here at Great Millstone. But it just proves the validity of the scriptures, all right? The prophecies reign supreme, man. We able to go into the scriptures and read and pretty much narrate what's taking place on the planet Earth. The brothers just read it. Signs in the suns and the moon and the stars and upon the earth. You got, and it's not just in a 2-week window either, like a 2-month. You go back, remember Kim Jong-un had the momentum and he was parading missiles down the street. That was the scriptures, man. The Lord said he would bring out his armory. All right, go ahead.
It says, and upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity.
Right, the nations is stressed right now. With perplexity. Matter of fact, we didn't went into this word before, but let's just go into it real quick. Anybody got something? Let's bring it up. All right, come on.
Let's go back to the mind. Lord chose the mind.
Yeah.
Or search the heart. The Jeremiah 17:10. I, the Lord, search the heart.
Mm-hmm.
I try the reins. Even give every man according to his ways.
Yeah, so the Most High said, I'm the one that searcheth the heart. The scripture speaks about not judging a man out of his outward appearance, but the Most High judge a man by his inward appearance. All right, so it's about the inward man. That's where you get overthrown at the inward man. Read it from the top again.
I, the Lord, search the heart. I try the reins.
Yeah, so the Most High searcheth the heart. He try the reins, meaning he control you. But he said, I try the reins. Go ahead.
Even to get every man according to his ways
Mm-hmm.
and according to the fruits of his doings.
That's right, according to his ways and to the fruits of his doings. Scripture also speaks about your works are going to be judged, whether they be hay, stubble.
Oh yeah. First Corinthians.
Mm-hmm.
The 3rd chapter. That's
They
heavy.
shall declare.
Yeah, that day shall declare.
That's it.
Yeah.
They shall declare.
Yeah, that personal moment with prophecy. Yeah. It's gonna be up close and personal. With prophecy, you're gonna be overthrown by prophecy if you're not rooted and grounded in your house shop. Prophecy gonna be that wind that's gonna come through and uproot all those who are not planted. And we know obviously at face value with the 2/3, ain't nothing, you ain't gotta go into no deep analysis, you know. But even amongst you Israelite groups in Israel, hey, that's why in the spirit, there's a sense of urgency that should come with it. You shouldn't really just be comfortable. Like, you should be driven to your feet, understanding what Yahweh Shema outside about to bring forth. Especially us having the report. All right, come on.
Yeah,
Oh, that was it?
Workplace.
Oh, you got the word?
Kind
But anybody got something before we go back?
Yeah, come.
Let's get out of the precept, then we go back.
Ecclesiastes 12:1. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth,
Mm-hmm.
when the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them.
Right, the evil days. That's the theme. That's already written in the scriptures. That's a part of the drama. All right? There's evil days, which that word evil goes into bad times or ill times. So it's a season where things is going to be turned upside down. You know, the plateau of this place, we often touch on the famine. That's brewing. And Lord, we're going to get into that too. Amen. The Lord, the suddenness of Yahweh Shai. You see, we read from the scriptures. That's why the scriptures promote faith. Noah being warned. See, we convinced because we read in the scriptures, but also we see it. I can't help because you can't see it. What's that? Matthew the 23rd? Salakia, is it 24? When thou says when when that tree began to bud forth. So we see it. And you know what it proves to the Lord, the power of Yahweh Shema Shai. He truly shut the eyes of you people. What's that? Isaiah the 6th chapter. Reason why I know that, why you can't get it. Why is not that plain to you? All right, come on. Yeah, motherfucker, it's like what's that? Is that First Peter is it First Peter the 4th chapter where it speaks about them speaking evil of you? Because you no longer run with them to the excess of banqueting and you appeared to be as weird. At the last report, you had on a dress out there cussing out a white boy with the Bible. And you know, Jake, as it circulates, the story gets crazy. So by the time, you know, it rests on the ears of the people. But hey, that's yeah, come on. I don't want to even get to it. Yeah, come on.
Let me keep on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, come. Verse 2. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. Verse 3. In a day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and a strong man shall bow himself.
Yeah, you're going to have the keepers of the house to tremble. All right? Because of the eerie sound, the report, Merodach is taken, her idols are confounded, her images are broken. Go ahead.
It says, and the grinders cease because there are few, and those that look out the windows be dark.
Right, and the grinders are ceasing, man. Because the way it's going to cease ultimately, and you can see the pieces, the chess pieces putting together, it's not going to be any. You're not going to have any resources to operate. See, that's going to go into its perfection. Although you can go into stats. You know, that was a time when you could read that precept and you pull up an article of unemployment. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's obvious, but and you know, it'll go into staggering numbers. But in this perfection, that's going to come by way of the domino effect of the resources. Oh, what's that? The scarcity. The scarcity? That's a word that should be thrown around a lot more. All right, that's going into the shortages. That word has been thrown around now. Hey, that's going to contribute to the grind and ceasing in its perfection. Where it's not going to be, how could you operate when it's, right?
That's how much outside. That's that offensive war.
Oh, yeah, offensive strategy. Yep.
Cutting off the supplies. You know, the different resources. You know, say cut off the sword. There's a sword upon that chariot. A sword upon this. A sword upon that.
Get that too, yeah. Since you said that, they cut off a chariot. You can continue. I can
yeah. So that's the Lord.
Somebody can get that Jeremiah 50.
You know, ain't holding back. He's waging war upon it. Babylon, man. You know, so you said the profession of the grind of seasons, because what can you work on? It ain't no resources. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah, you know what too.
Yeah.
You know, the scripture says the Lord will he that buyeth, he that selleth. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those who if you can get that too.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Right, come on, who got that Jeremiah?
I got it.
All right, come on.
This book of Jeremiah 50 and 37. A sword is upon their horses, and upon their chariots, and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her, and they shall become as women. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed.
Yep. As the brother was just saying, the sword is upon all her works. The Lord is cutting off the lifeline of Babylon the Great. That whore that was once desired, she wore out now. It came with age. Oh, the scriptures tell you how that worm. Oh, also, what's that? Isaiah, I want to say Isaiah the 24th chapter, or either the 10th chapter. No man shall come into her. Mm-hmm. No man come into her. Yeah, so she's withered. She through, man. The Lord have visited her. Everything is cut off. It's volatile at best. That's why it makes more sense. That shadow, which is a fickle thing, that's subject to change. You out of your mind to put stock into anything in America. That's why the scriptures encourage us to be as pilgrims, man. And the mindset. Hey, the scriptures are snap. And that's what's that Isaiah the 8th chapter. You come in, you get a garment. And then, you know, your perception, you didn't get the lenses adjusted, man. Now you actually out in the terrain with a campfire. You said, you read be as pilgrims. No, it starts right here in your mind, all right? Not being attached to anything of the world. Come on, was that it on that?
A little bit more. Mm-hmm. It says, a drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up.
So yeah, you have cases of droughts as well. There's part of the Lord, you know, waging war, cutting off the supplies of the city, man. You know, it is only going to increase, you know, to the perfection of the sword, which is those missiles, man. And the Lord ain't just going to be hitting, you know, just different body parts. It's just going to knock the whole thing off, man. By just destroying this place altogether. We seen the destruction take place. You know, the different pillars that uphold this place. But the icing on the cake is the World War III, man. You know?
Yeah, this on Jeremiah 51:64. And thou shalt say, thus shall Babylon sink.
And see, thou shalt say. See, the power of the word, because this is thus saith Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, man. And we seeing that process taking place now, the sinking of Babylon. You got it.
And thou shalt say, thus shall Babylon sink, and shall not rise from the evil thou will bring upon her.
See, he's not gonna rise from the evil. So what it says what is it, Isaiah 14? That they do not rise nor possess the land. Tells us oppression shall not rise a second time. You know, and that lets you know it's not talking about ancient Babylon, because it tells you that the Lord he cut it, but he left the stump for, you know. So the Lord's gonna completely uproot this place, man. Ain't no way it's gonna bounce back, man, from what the Lord gonna do to this place, man. You know? Yes, more.
I'll finish off on. And shall not rise from the evil that I would bring upon her, and thou shalt be weary.
See? So it ain't gonna be no strength left when we seeing that deteriorating of this man now. You know?
Yeah, you got something? What you read from Jeremiah the 50th chapter, Ryan?
Yeah, kind of Jeremiah 50.
Okay, kind. Read what verse you left off at?
Jeremiah 51 and verse
Oh, you was 51. Okay, now.
Let me Jeremiah 50 and 30. So.
Okay, jump up on that. Okay. 16 verse. You got it, yeah, what's up?
God, this is 2nd Esdras 16 and 40. O my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims.
Oh, they're gonna word evils again, as the brother read in Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter. That's talking about a certain time frame, man. So be as, what did it say? Read that again.
It says, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose.
Yeah, meaning you don't put no stock into it. I mean, that's not your mindset, you know, as if you're going to actually, you know, prosper here. For an example, we're not going to campaign to build a new Jerusalem. You know how these guys was in Atlanta. They scored the plot of land out in Atlanta, man. You know, and they was pushing that too. But why would you do that? That means you are looking to be acclimated into America, Babylon the Great, man. And the mindset, but this is a mindset. Remember that pilgrim, it starts with the mind. I can't convince. I don't know if you feel like that. That's why the scripture speaks about
persuading
your own mind, right? But also that path. That path, yeah. Every man walk his. Yeah, we could be here, but I really don't know. I don't know if. That's the intimacy with Yahweh Shema Shah, man. And that proves deep down, you know he controlling it. All right, come on.
Keep on. Verse 42, it says, he that occupieth merchandise as he that have no profit buy it. And he that buildeth.
Yeah, you really shouldn't be in the spirit of, you know, man, I ain't going to buy this because I'm going to save up, man. 5 years from now, I don't really know what's going to happen. No, you can't be like that. Because remember, what America is driven by, the currency, is a land of traffic and trade. So by knowing that, you understand that that's the most volatile aspect of Esau's rulership. Because there's the dollar gonna crash, man. All right, it's gonna be a hard transition to another currency. So you can't really put stock, you know. Might be a situation where you're gonna only deal through Bitcoin or, I'm just saying, you know, different avenues. Volatile situation. All right, come on.
It says, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein.
Yep. So again, that transition to what, not putting stock into it. You're not looking to rest your head there or, you know, become acclimated again to whatever situation you got going. And this is what you develop when you really come into the truth, when you fully commit, right? Somewhat deep down in you, you understand, like, look, man, this is temporal. I can feel it, you know. I'm convinced, I'm persuaded that Yahweh Shema Shah is going to act on everything you've been saying. And you don't even have that second thought of, you know, going back into the world. You understand that this is a temporal situation, a mere shadow, a mist that's going to pass away. And the build-up is to a world to come, a perpetual one. All right, so come on.
I guess so.
Yeah, we're going to double down. Let's go around.
Yes.
That was it, what you had selected. That was it,
Yeah,
right?
that's
All right, come on.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 14 and verse 14. let go from thee mortal thoughts.
Beautiful.
Cast away the burdens of man.
Right. And you notice if you're paying attention, right? Thoughts. Proving that everything centers around. This is a mental game. Because you could be 6'8", solid, you know, you was an amateur wrestler, some crazy shit. Or you was in the military. Man, none of that shit is going to matter. The scriptures tell you how the mighty man is going to
be as a woman.
You're going to be as a woman, man. When Yahweh Shema shall unleash those death angels and that realm of reality is opened up to you people. It's going to be those who have the spirit of Yahweh Shah, that mark of exemption, which really that mark of exemption go back to this truth, man. You think the mark of exemption, it starts with that. And what the scriptures say, matter of fact, let's prove that. Go to Psalms 145. Because if you have this truth and this pureness, then at that point, you just got to hold fast to it. What Yahweh Shah said, hold fast to thy crown. But this is that springboard, if you will, that's going to propel you into being preserved. It starts with this truth. It's not going to be just because you emotionally believe on the Bible. All right, go ahead.
This is Isaiah 1.
You got to be in the council. What's that? Proverbs, the 2nd chapter. Discernment shall keep thee. Go ahead.
Book of Psalms, chapter 145, verse 18. The Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, is nigh unto all them that call upon him.
Right. The Lord is nigh or near unto all that call upon him. Go ahead.
To all that call upon him in truth.
In truth. See? So this truth is not just here. No, it's reasoning. It's strategic, man. This is how the Lord would cleanse us so we'll be able to come into his presence, enter into his courts. The house of David, this is where it starts, right here with this understanding. All right, so that was it out?
One more verse.
You got it.
It says, he will fulfill the desire of them that fear him. See, so and what they desire, mercy, man. You know, that fear him, because being in the fear of the Lord, we know his ways, you know, his works, and how the Lord operates, man. You know, and it's being on display by being in his truth, man. It says, he also will hear their cry and will save them. So that's what we, you know, that mercy, man. That's what's going to, that deliverance, man. You know, but who want that? That's the elect. That's their desire, man.
Yeah, great point.
It's mercy, man. You know.
Yeah, that's it. And again, that goes into a realm of thinking. Like you have to truly cancel out anything carnal. If that's a part of your assessing of things, then you're going to be vulnerable. It's an inner thing. Like I went into in the spirit. Yeah. You don't know what the next man, what's your desire?
That one hope.
That one hope. Oh. Woo, Ephesians the 4th chapter. Right, so your inner, the elect inner desire is to be saved. Why? And delivered, because they heard the report. That goes to, what's that?
Isaiah.
Yep, Con. Hebrews, the 11th chapter. What's the other one? Habakkuk.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I heard y'all speak.
And it was afraid.
Yeah, I heard that speech and was afraid, man. So the report that's been given us has provoked us to fear. Now we desiring to be saved from the famine. If you wasn't briefed on the famine, how could that be your desire to stand in that time? You know what I'm saying? You praying for the job to continue. We know what to pray for now. All right, come on. We're going to run through all these, and then we're going to let's go into, we'll do a rapid fire with the info.
2 Ezra 14:14, let go from thee mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man.
And that's the thing is concerning this world. You know, you got to
put off now the weak nature.
Yeah, the flesh, man. Because that's what this place, you know, accommodates. The things that's, because, you know, please the flesh. You get up 6:30 in the morning, you know what I mean? Just so at the weekend you can hit the town, man. You know, that's all concerning the flesh, man. You know?
You trick off And then you go
Yeah.
pay the mortgage, and it's just a ceiling.
Same old cycle.
Yeah, same old
That's
thing.
it. That's it.
And America, that's why America got like rerun. They got shit entertainment right there for you. Their bread and circus. And the flesh in you, you don't get into it. That's why Yahweh said that. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. So the flesh is a comment time. It's not like you perfect either. Like you know what I'm saying? Incense burning. Like, wait, it's the 7th hour, you know what I mean? In the 7th hour, you set up a sharp. Yeah. No, man. What the scriptures say, I pray to take them not out of the world. Now, that don't mean that they don't give you license to be a nigga either. It's discipline, coming into the truth. But, keeping it real, we're at the mercy of a higher power here. We had to figure it out. We'll be already in the kingdom. Because we know that's the prize. That's right. To have immortality, to never go off again. We had to figure it out. We would have conjured up something to have a new body. So that proves that we're at the mercy of Yahweh Shema Shai. Go ahead, up.
And set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times.
Background up.
Come. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 14 and verse 15. And set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. And the thoughts that are most heavy unto us are the things of this world, man. We got to concentrate on these scriptures. All right. And we're hastening to flee from these times. All right. What does scripture say? Isaiah 51, the capital exile hastening, that he might be loose, that they don't die in the pit. Also, that our bread won't fail, which is these scriptures. Because again, these words are faithful and true. One more verse, it says, for yet greater evils than these, than Slack of the side, it said, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. So it's going to increase. There's multiple ways to die in America now. And there's nothing good is purpose here. The Lord has purpose, the destruction of Babylon, and that's what we're witnessing.
Million ways to do it.
Yeah. Say great death.
Yep. That was it.
Yep, we can go around.
Okay, Khan. 2 Timothy 2 and verse 3. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. No man that warreth entangleth himself.
You said endure hard?
Yep.
So therefore we were being made hard, man. Really, that's putting out the flesh. Because the emotions is being taken out of it now. That's why we catch hell and all that. Because now, it's more spiritual now. You got to make more decisions, not based on how you feel, but what it is now. You got
God. Verse 4. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life. Oh yeah, come. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life. It goes into putting off, spiritually the cares of this life. It may come with your family, friends, things that hold you back from the true objective. Because we're on a mission. This is a war, a spiritual battle. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta be focused and to pretty much stay on the point, man. So let me continue. He said that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier. Yeah, so basically, we've been chosen to be soldiers. So we gotta do what's pleasing to Yahweh Shema Shai. Yep, that's it.
Decision making. Decision making, a heavy, prestige level of decision making. That's what it's going to come down to. Now, in no wise that means you're going to figure it out. No, the spirit of the Lord is going to be on you. You're going to operate according to what the scriptures say. And that's a gift, Because discernment really, it leads to life. If you don't know if that's a tiger, right, or either
what was the picture Nathan y'all sent that still of the deer?
Oh yeah,
what it was?
Are you talking about when the deer in leopard.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he had a video of it where the deer didn't know what quite. Yeah. The deer wasn't on point. It didn't know that the leopard was his enemy. Yeah, so yeah, being able to recognize and see, eyes to see. All right, you got it up.
Can I add something real quick?
You got it up. You can go.
This is John 16:33. These things have I spoken unto you.
Break it down to it.
That in me you might have peace. In the world you shall have tribulation. But be of good cheer, I have overcome the world. So Lord Yahweh Shai, he say, hey, in me you have peace. So you gotta have Yahweh Shai abiding in you. So the Lord say you abide in me, you're gonna be more fruitful, be fruitful, in the spirit. But if you don't have the Lord Yahweh Shai, then it's over with, you're done. You don't have that spirit of the Lord, it's over with, you ain't doing work, so forth, you fade out. But it said, in tribulations, he said, I had overcome the world, So if you're of the elect, you part of righteous number, you're gonna overcome because of Yahweh in you. You abide in Yahweh, you abide in the works, you abide in the brotherhood, you ain't forsaking the brotherhood, you constantly doing what you gotta do, in the will of the Lord. Through the spirit power of Yahweh, not of us. No, it's not of us, It's, right. It's of the spirit, being led of the spirit, cause the water up.
Yep. Yeah. Romans 8 chapter, those are led by the spirit. Yep. You got that? Let's go around. That was it on that? Oh, you got it. Yeah.
This 2 Corinthians 4 and verse 16. It says, for which we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. Kind of this on the spirit, because we're gonna lose fleshly things, but losing those fleshly things is gonna strengthen the inner man. Through the spirit, we're gonna become better. We're gonna lose things in the flesh, so we become better in the spirit. That's the best trade-off. It says, for our light affliction, which is but for a moment, temporal things. It says, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. So the things that we lose on this side, we're going to gain other things on the other side. Like Yahweh Shai told Peter, you forsaking this and that, you're going to receive 100-fold.
That's it.
One more verse.
Go ahead.
It says, while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen, for the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. And you lose things in the flesh, and the flesh might hold you back. But like I have our lot, we're gonna have to put away those mortal thoughts. Because those mortal thoughts, there's like extra weight upon your back that you don't need. Yeah,
because everything, it really starts with your mind.
Okay.
You can intensify a situation. You can make something worse than it is. It's true. Yeah. You can overthink it, or that's why the mind is very, That's why Yahweh speaks about the simplicity. Hey, because that don't just go into the scripture, they go into your walk too.
Yeah, you your own worst enemy.
Yeah. That's it. It's that to be the simplicity. The best way you dial it down is just understanding you're under the vibration of a higher power. Like the brother just mentioned, he is led by the spirit. So really nothing you can do. So it's assimilation. When you know the story, when you find out what's going on, it's assimilation, man. It's all temporal, but it's going to lead us, spill us over into immortality. And since the brother mentioned that, losing things, we're about to go into that time where a lot of you Americans are going to lose everything. But you know what you're going to lose? Your sanity. All right? So let's go into... that's a type. That's why we got this council tonight and moving forward through spirit and power. You're going to lose your sanity, which in that day, the brother brought it out, Isaiah 33. In that day, the elect will be stabilized. Lord willing, the Lord bestow that mercy on us. So now let's go through this. We're going to rapid fire. Let's start back there.
It's BBC.com. It says microchip implant that lets you pay with your hand.
Oh. Hey, but you know this, right? The current events, the only doctrine that can make sense of it is what we got. See, now, like the brother I was going to, it's gonna be a point where doctrine's gonna come to an end, a screeching halt. You was fired up by the doctrine, but it's gonna be a certain prophecy that's gonna unfold. They're gonna cancel that doctrine out, man. So that's really on display now. Somebody check you, ask you a trick question about the chip. What's that? What that had to do with anything? And if you can't tell them, I mean, you can't say, well, that's not in the scriptures. Because now you downplaying, right? So everything is lining up. Oh, Ezekiel the 33rd chapter is becoming clearer. In the 33rd verse, then they shall know that a prophet has been among them. All right, go ahead.
It says, a microchip was first implanted in a human.
Yeah, we started talking about that first. That's a lesson. Start with the apostles and elders. Yeah, you damn right. Yeah, we're going to take credit in it because you had men that had to bear the brunt of, like some of the apostles before we start laboring, to a certain extent. Men had to bear the brunt of bringing that information not only to be rejected. You damn right. Once it comes to pass, we're gonna rejoice in the dance. That's a part of the victory that we're gonna get. The fact that what we've been standing on, what we've been promoting through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah is valid. It's truth. Yeah, we're gonna it's gonna be our I told you so moment, if you will. Go ahead.
It says the microchip was first implanted into a human back in 1998, but it is only during the past decade that technology has been available commercially. It says, and when it comes,
I want to expound on it. I already know what scriptures to get.
Yeah, commercial.
Yeah, reality gonna set in.
That revelation.
All you people that came up against that,
You got it.
it says
that part again, that commercially part.
it says, but it is only during the past decade that the technology has been available commercially.
Just like add on it. They been had the technology out there, but for like birds, they just pushing it out there. They been had this thing developed.
You want socially put forth. You got it, huh? You got it.
gradualism.
Yeah, gradualism.
Because for example, you had you had phone booths. You had big Bucky phones. You must have old movie New Jack City.
Good way to put it.
Then it went to a smaller phone, a flip phone. Then it went to.
I better say right before the wind that motherfucker up.
Oh no, yeah. They actually had that.
Wind electricity. Wind that motherfucker.
You get struck by lightning.
Yeah.
But and it goes. But then you got the flip. Then you had to what you have now. All right, even with money, that was telling you had food stamps, you had this, you had that, you had this card.
Right.
Now you have like digital ways to make transitions, currency, make purchases.
That's where you get the word grade from. Like when you're shading in something, when you grade it, the darker the grade, and grade go back to steps. So gradualism means step by step.
And that that goes back to the ways of Yahweh Shema Shah. Because everything is like a maturation. It grows. The seed is planted, then it grows, So that's how this thing is like every stroke of the brush, things is getting clearer and clearer.
Hey, that's why history plays such an important role. Scriptures tell you you reap what you sow. So you gotta look back in order to see, make sense of what's going on right now.
That's right.
What does Hebrew mean? Abba. The past. We got a lot to learn from the past, and really that's what they Esau trying to hide that heavy right now. Whenever they dealing with the school system, they dealing with trying to take away slavery or take away some truth of what happened in the past. That's really what Renaissance era was all about, covering up the past.
That's it.
Because the path leads to what's about to happen. And we know that through the scriptures, man. That's part of this wisdom that we get through the spirit.
Yeah.
Wisdom of Solomon 8, verse 8. If a man desire much experience, she know of things of old, and conjecture of right what is to come.
Go ahead. Read it again.
It says, if a man desire much experience, she know of things of old, and conjecture of right what is to come.
Yeah. So I mean, of the past, you're gonna find out things of the future, man. Know of things of old. All right, experience of the past. You know, we historian buffs. You know, hey, we like to touch upon we understand how the Most High sped things up around the 1940s. That's when the arms race began, and then from that, you know, we could tell you about the gradualism steps it took to get to the thermonuclear missile. Why that's important now, going through the gradualist steps of hey, the first, I just realized the first or Bitcoin like type currency came out in the 90s. It's called e-gold. You know, so they've been playing this e-gold, yeah. So they, you know, gradualism been working, man. It's been working. Through spirit, you know, like the brothers mentioned earlier about how, you know, a lot of other camps is starting to chime in now, and I mean, they either completely off about the 666 and the Revelations, or they spot on with what Great Millstone been teaching. But there was a period of time in which no camp wanted to touch. They didn't want to touch that doctrine that the RFID chip is the mark of the beast. They didn't want to touch that. As a matter of fact, they still saying, well, Esau created it. Well, here's the thing: Esau, the Most High used Esau to fulfill his prophecy.
Right.
So Esau had to be used. Of course, Esau will know about it because he actually implemented it. Right. You know, and upon him implementing that, if he checking out the scriptures, he gonna see right there, like, damn, we just create the Most High just made us create this instrument that is gonna be you know. Right. So that, you know, Esau is supposed to be privy to, you know, certain portions of what he fulfilling in the scriptures too. You know, he ain't that ignorant of it. So, you know, as that's to say that when you had certain Edomite videos of the 80s and the 90s going back into the RFID chip being the mark of the beast, well, he just had firsthand information about what he put out, you know. But yet and still, the prophets of the Lord, we starting with the apostles, that, you know, we've been ahead of the Hebrew Israelite curve. You know,
yeah. I got a quick precept for you. To add, we made the point. Esau just doing the will, you know. This Romans 9:19. Thou wilt say then unto me, why doeth he yet find fault? For who have resisted his will?
Yeah, who's Slacky? Go one more time.
Yep, Romans 9:19. It says, thou wilt say then unto me, why doeth he yet find fault? For who have resisted his will?
And the Most High's will, man. You know, because you got a lot of nations that's basically believing that they have their own will, they have their own way. All right, but you can't, you know, the scriptures tell you about the thing that's formed. You know, I mean,
you couldn't say until that formed it.
Same thing that formed it. Matter of fact, that's the next verse, ain't it?
Yeah, let me see. Yep, it says, nay. Let me read 19 again. Yep. It says, thou wilt say then unto me, why doeth he yet find fault? For who have resisted his will? Nay, but, O man, who art thou that replies against the Most High? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus?
So, yeah, Esau's main question for himself is, why thou made me thus? Why am I the most hated, wicked, evil man of the earth? You know, why? I mean, he goes out, best believe he go out into the sun and realize the same thing that we all realize, is that he ain't got no pigmentation. That basically he adverse to nature itself. And so he asking these questions about him, you know, him being the conqueror of the world and the nations hating him. Why am I thus, man? Why can't I be the popular one or the most loved, the beloved one? Why can't I be the Israelites? but this is the Most High's will. You can't resist it. He set up the wicked for the day of destruction and the day of evil, and that's where we steadily approaching. So they got a ticking timeline. You know, if for the children of Israel, we just gonna rule eternally. You know, but these things, you know, as the brother's going into, these things is what is our peace in this time, because this is all our hell that's about to break loose, and we heading towards a terrible time in which you're not gonna have time to open up, you know, grab the sword and open it up and just dive into prophecy. You're not gonna have time to go the luxury of going to the corners and listen to your favorite elders and prophets out there breaking down the scriptures for you, and you know, where you can explain it to your relatives and whatnot. You're not gonna have that time anymore. The Most High is just gonna speed things up. As a matter of fact, it's written. So you know, you gotta delegate your time wisely, man. You know, it all goes back to like the bro, like this, you know, the sentiment what brothers is going into is that your mind, you could put on a good show for the camera, but ultimately that, you know, that walk, what you got dealing with the Lord and you, that's a personal walk. And you got to have enough faith in that day where the Lord's going to take you all the way through. You got it.
Kind of just a little bit more on the article, just showing you this is a global thing. It says the implant can be used to pay for drink on a beach in Rio, a coffee in New York, a haircut in Paris.
Implant.
Man.
Right. See, again, yeah, the Quran was the only doctrine that you can make sense of that with is what we push.
Yeah, them doctrines are silly, man. You know, some of them is silly. They still saying it's either an embargo. You know, that's a, you know, and or they saying it's the church. One guy said 666 men. But you know, it's just basic. It's basic how it's just charagma. Now I asked a Greek person one day. I was getting a gyro, you know, across from where we used to speak at, and I asked a Greek behind the counter. I said, "Do you know what charagma means?" He said, "Scissors." He said, "Cut." You know, he said like this with his fingers, charagma. So, I mean, that's an incision all the way. And you go into the word, it means palisade. You go deep into the word, it means palisade.
Stake.
With stake. Something that's stuck into the, you know, carved into. Either way you put it, it's going to be inserted under your skin. And here we are, man. And now you got the Bitcoin. Now you got, you know, the Internet of Things. Everything is going to link up with it. The movies tell you what it is. In the movie with Denzel, he was putting in the chip, safe house, all type of born identity. They flying drones.
007, yeah, Casino Royale, I think it was.
God.
They put the chip in them, yeah.
The drone was tracking his ass, right?
Yeah.
One of the new ones. It's everywhere. It was in the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger. You have to take it out of the skin. Total Recall, the first of the picture.
Yeah.
So that's gradualism, and that was in the 80s. So what now, man?
Yeah, because see, you just waking up, Jake, at best. Your ancestors, they had third grade. You know what I mean? Even if you made it to the 11th grade, you was given third grade education, man. You know what I mean? So now we've been thrust into a stratosphere of thinking where, you know, we're assessing rulerships, how they're governed, you know, the treachery that comes with the fall of rulerships and, you know, the righteousness, right, that we know will be in the world to come and how kingdom is established. You didn't have that mindset, right? That's why we're not flattered with guys, you know, they're not really in the truth. You're an inspirational speaker. Yeah, you don't understand. All right, come on.
Kind of finishing off, it says it can be used wherever contactless payments are accepted.
Yeah, so that's that Quran. And they brief you on that too with certain orders or whatever you might get. Like in the mail, they have that contactless. They're drilling that shit in your head, man. Everything's gonna build up to that thing. Go ahead, is there more?
That was it.
All right, so you got anything else before we go around? Yeah, no, otherwise, okay, come on.
Okay, this is from Zero Hedge. This came out April 10th, 2022. It says, "We are starving to death," is a quote. Shanghai residents under lockdown shout.
Oh, that's well, I think you brought that out earlier. The perplexity of the nation. Don't get no perplexed in that. We are starving to death. We told you that. And it's gonna come over here. Because this is a what's that, scarcity? Scarcity on food. Matter of fact, let's go into that too. You continue. You got anything else on that today?
Yeah, I got something else.
Yeah, go to that Revelation 18.
One more time. It says, "We are starving to death." Shanghai residents under lockdown shout at visiting vice premier. I'm gonna scroll down. This little section says, "Many neighborhoods in Shanghai are in a chaotic state. Some people can't get treatment. There is a serious lack of food. Some elderly died in senior facilities without family members around." It says babies are separated from their parents.
Oh yeah, I think you was talking about that earlier about what's going on over there. Where they spraying down. You want to elaborate on it more? Right, spraying down.
Yeah, Con. The latest video I saw was that they got whenever you report that you have some type of ailment or you have any symptoms, and they even saying without symptoms, what they do is they round you up, take everybody out the house. You know, no longer knocking. You know, they just taking everybody out the house, putting them in a camp, basically, or whatever they call it, like a
quarantine. Yeah,
quarantine zone. And they go inside your house and spraying it down, hosing it down. They got these big tanks, look like Ghostbusters. And they just spraying down your house with disinfectant. And the people is complaining that when they get back to the house, it's all soaked. Everything's all soaked and wet because all that disinfectant, you know, sprayed up. And the government don't give a damn. That's just what they doing right now. They doing what they want to do. Yep. That's it.
Yeah, but you see, hey, why they going to those lengths, man? And you know they got new strains they got shit brewing, right? Different so-called diseases. They don't think you out of it, man. You know, I declare they're gonna come with another lockdown. Start seeing that rat again, Fauci and different guys. Yeah, go ahead.
Continuing on, it says babies are separated from their parents because of the C19 test results are different. And it goes on to say videos also show.
Where that at again? And
it's in Shanghai.
In Shanghai, okay.
It says also videos also show truckloads of food supplies stuck in the outskirts of the city, unable to reach those in need. They're also rotten vegetables and other food sitting on the sidewalk. That's pretty much it on that.
Yeah. It's a global thing. Matter of fact, you got some? Go ahead, you got some info?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to rapid fire. Whoever got some. And if anybody got something after him, bring it out. Go ahead.
This April 10th, 2022, end time headline.
When they came out today?
Yeah.
All right.
The earth only has a 3-month supply of food. If production stops, humanity has nothing to eat.
Yeah, see? And when you present that to someone, they can't make sense of that. Because all you guys have got it figured out. You don't have your own farmland or where you can grow, you know. You can mass reproduce it. I ain't talking about a nigga who got some tomatoes growing. Fuck out of here, man. Corn. Yeah. Nigga said, man, I got my own farm. You got a corner of green tomatoes in the backyard. BG already done bought up all the farmland. Go ahead. Read that again from the top.
Okay. It says the earth only has a 3-month supply of food. The production stops. Humanity has nothing to eat. We are far closer to a potential global cataclysm than most people would dare to imagine. Right now, leaders from all across the political spectrum are openly warning us that a worldwide food crisis is coming.
Not so long ago, you had your boy Biden. He came out and said. So all these different world leaders, they're speaking the inevitable. Matter of fact, go to The Revelation 18. Oh, did you have it, bro?
What you want, Revelation?
Oh, you got it. I think it's 8.
Okay. Revelation 18 and verse 8, it says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine.
Yep, death and mourning and famine. Well,
and she shall be utterly burned with fire.
Right. So that's going to be the perfection of the judgments, which will be played out in the form of World War III. Go ahead.
For strong is the Lord power who judgeth her.
Yep. Now look up that word famine right there.
Okay.
We went into it at camp. Good. Okay, you can read it. He told you one. Look up that word.
This word famine. Strong's G 3042. And it reads, scarcity of harvest. I'm gonna jump down to the Strong's.
Yes.
Oh, snap.
Look up that word scarcity. That's what we want right there. It says scarcity of harvest.
This is the word scarcity. In a simple Google definition, it says the state of being scarce or in short supply.
Yeah, or in short supply. Go ahead.
Shortage.
So that's why that's the buzz on the planet Earth right now. Shortages. Because it goes back to the scriptures, man. And see, this is what boosts up our faith. You're going to see. And we brought it out earlier, Isaiah 33 and 6. Knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of that time. You're going to see, in that day, right? Why we was, we committed to it, man. We believe wholeheartedly on it, man. To the point where, you go out on the highways and byways, you might sever relationships. We do that because we know that there's a reward.
We got the word shortage. It says a state or situation in which something needed cannot be obtained in sufficient amounts.
Yeah.
So what do you need over everything? I'm talking about being in the physical body, food and water.
Yeah, and that question is more broad with Americans though.
Yeah, it is.
Because they don't just need that. And they need power.
Yeah.
They need internet service.
Yeah.
Right. They need a whole lot more. You see,
you're right about that.
We saying technically, yeah.
You're right.
Them motherfuckers, man.
You're right. They spoiled.
Yeah, they spoiled.
They spoiled.
You're going to be from so many angles around about her.
You're right. Round about.
Yeah, round about the water, no showers.
That's true.
Clean. It might break down to a cold shower. You talking about? A lot of niggas gonna be playing flip. What they call it? Double dutch with that. They gonna be jumping in the shower.
Hey, that's a lot of this series is going on in Ukraine right now. You got a lot to do with oil, of course, and nobody telling you that Russia's still getting 500 million from all these same countries a day. By the way, based on their oil, they still selling oil to all these other countries in Europe, right? But Americans, they don't like to be in the cold, man. So they're not gonna last in this cold. That's one thing they ain't taking into account, man. Them cold showers or just being in the house in the 40-degree weather outside and your house is 40 degrees inside. They ain't made for that. But you go over there, Ukraine and Belarus, and they used to that cold.
Croatia,
they used to be uncomfortable.
Jogging,
That's what Americans all about, comfort.
Well, that's what the scripture say. The Lord going to take away the stay and the staff.
That's it.
The stability, man. Yep.
Real quick, this second Ezra 6 and 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown.
Right. In the sown places, with your grocery stores, your restaurants, right? They got these corner, the chicken spots. Nigga up all night serving chicken. I think Elias woman said, where you get all this chicken from? You got chicken for every cat, you know. That's gonna become unsown. Oh, and we saw what happened with them chicken sandwiches. Remember Popeyes?
Yeah.
He pumped that shit, man. It was it's footage of niggas launching into the drive-thru when they found out there was no more chicken sandwiches. Now, you know, some of them, they had the cardboard, they had guys to combat it. Niggas just write it on and they ain't even want to face you. No chicken sandwiches before you get around to them. They just have a sign up there, no chicken sandwiches. We want to see you.
The Boondocks did a whole show on that.
Oh, yeah. Niggas went grab that.
Crazy. Yeah, Obama can't save you now.
Yeah, God. And because the flesh is, there's nothing you can do about it. You were built, you're designed to eat and drink. So right there, the Lord got you.
Yeah, that's right.
The beast gonna come at you. Well,
checkmate.
Yep.
They say, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty.
Right.
Go through the spirit. Hey, the brother just mentioned how Bill Gates stole up or bought up all of the Midwest and the good farmland. Mm-hmm. This is the same guy that had everything to do with you about to lose your job because you didn't take a vaccine, man. So if it's that, you know he's gonna come with the whole food game too now. So now you got challenged. You got challenged on your health situation by him. You're gonna come through and shut it down on the food tip, man.
The gates of hell, so nothing.
Right. What happens when he just gonna cut off the food to once he starts supplying or whatever he want to do with his farmland, and he just decide to cut it off unless you got the jab or something like that. You know,
the same thing. You gotta be able to buy or sell. Yes, ultimately.
Sir. Yeah, ultimately. Yep. Got it.
Yeah, that happened with that was 70 AD when they cut off the supplies of it's the same old devils, man. They cut off the supplies of the city.
Siege.
Yep, the siege. Yep, go ahead.
I got something real quick.
Mm-hmm. That was it right here, right?
That's it.
Mm-hmm. You got it.
Jeremiah 50 and verse 16.
Yep, that's it.
Cut off the sword from Babylon, and him that handled the sickle in the time of harvest.
Yeah, and you go into that word sickle, it goes back to farming tool. So that symbolizes the heartbeat. You know, you can go to the source, you can cut off the source of something. That's the farmland of America, right? I mean, the source of America, the pulse, is the farmland. That's where you get everything from, man. Oh, what we was going, I was with one of y'all brothers, we were going, I think we were going out west to Mississippi or something, and we rolled by the cornfield, or we go to Memphis.
No, we going to Memphis.
They see that we went past the goddamn a whole stretch of cornfield, but it was all withered.
Yeah, well,
like it was like, yeah.
Not for a mile or so.
For a mile or so, it was like it was all, drooping.
Bad season.
Yeah, so man, he probably dropped the motherfucking chemtrail. You know what I'm saying? Drop some shit on the because that family gonna have a man-made element to it, but we know it goes back to Yahweh Shema Shah. They can't get that concept. But when you read the captivity in ancient Egypt, it tells you clearly the Lord hardened his heart. The Lord set Pharaoh up to play his part in the drama. So we tell you that Esau behind things, like the brother said, they know about they privy to the chip, and that's because the Lord using them to, Yeah, go ahead. Is more than that?
That was it. This is a little bit more.
Hey, come on.
It says, for the fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn everyone to his people, and they shall flee everyone to his own land. That's it on that.
Yeah, Lord gonna scatter. You flee for hate. You hasted escape.
Yeah, you know what? Because war is not a thing that people just readily and happily want to go into. War is going to just devastate everybody, all parties involved. So it's not, Esau prides himself into being a wise and smart man with a high IQ, yet they can't stop themselves from killing each other over there in that land right now.
Right.
And ultimately, they're gonna kill each other even more. So it show you that regardless of how smart and wise, all this Nobel Peace Prize, all these high skyscrapers, man, it's all for naught because the Most High still want to take these people back to their lowest level, rage and ego, and then they're gonna start famines and start wars and proxy wars, and they still can't stop what they Yahweh Shemiah Shah working on their minds to do. And they can't make no sense of it, man. How do you make sense of that? They always priding themselves on, they civilized. They civilized the world. And now you about to be the same ones that decivilize the world, man. And that's all you've been doing, really. Murdering, and they know their track record, so they know they got what they got to do. It's just Jake that don't know. Esau know he doomed, man. The Russians over there singing their own lyrics about destroying America, man.
Mm-hmm. Revelation 12 and 12.
Yeah. Esau is just Jake that's lost in the sauce. Yeah.
Kind of increase up.
Mm-hmm.
Back out up. It's on Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord.
Yeah.
As the river of the water, he turneth it whithersoever he will.
Show you the power of the king. As the king and so is the people. So the Most High don't gotta deal with every last one of you internet blogging keyboard warriors out there. He's just gonna deal with the king. The king, the same king he put in office, man. He said he put the basis of the people, basis of men. He's just gonna deal with the king, and the king's gonna start the war. The king's gonna have the authority to call all his soldiers and all his men. He's gonna muster the host of the battle. You just gotta work through the kings, man. The elites. That's it. The rest of you people is just fuel for the fire. The Lord is bad, man. Showing you his magnitude. Relentless when it comes down. When he angry, when he fierce, the judgments, the fierceness of the Lord is something worth understanding and knowing about, especially in the day we in. Ain't nothing but threats around.
Yep.
It ain't nothing but destruction and the I forget that the technical word Esau called it energy that's stored instead of used. It's like it's a technical word for that.
Kinetic.
Kinetic or some shit. Like it's stored. It ain't been used yet. It's just stored. It's just waiting there. That's what we live in, a society full of stored kinetic devastation, man. And you see he gonna push the buttons and cause Esau to go to war. And that's gonna be that your ass for all the troops and armies. That's it.
Okay. More than up? Anybody else got anything? Hey, so with that, want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Double honors to our teacher, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the fellow laborers out there. And as always, you believe us. Until next time, shalom.
Shalom, DTA, Abba, soon.
Very soon. Right?